Afternoon. I'm Tom Barthold. Well, I'm currently the acting chief of staff of Congress's Joint Committee on Taxation, and we're a staff that provides technical and policy advice to every member of Congress, although we work most closely with the Ways and Means Committee in the House and the Finance Committee in the Senate. And we help write your nation's tax laws. We provide economic analysis, we do legal studies, and we in fact help write the words that are actually in the law that you're then asked to comply with every April 15th. Prior to that, I was in academics. I was on the economics faculty of Dartmouth College, and I've published a number of papers in the field of public finance, and have basically been working trying to understand how people respond to taxes, how taxes affect economic behavior for 25 years. I did take all the, as it turned out, top math classes at West and did quite well, and so I was always interested in, I started off in college actually to be a math major, took some economics courses as an elective, and economics can be very quantitative and very mathematical, and I'd also at West been interested in history and policy questions. I remember Roland Klein, our history teacher of a couple of years. Every Monday was current events day, and we would discuss current events, and it would be in the context of when we were doing world history, world current events, U.S. history, U.S. current events, and politics. We followed the elections. And economics seemed like a very interesting, had a lot of policy application, a lot of quantitative work to it, and so it just became very attractive to me. So it was in college that I kind of moved from math into economics, but it kind of goes back to, in a lot of ways, like some of that basic coursework at Parkway West. The primary math teachers had Richard Ludholtz, Algebra 2, and that's somewhat interesting in that as a class of 71, I was part of the first class to start at Parkway West. Parkway West opened up in, what was that, the fall of '68. So the first class to start and graduate from West. And when we started in the fall of '68, the building was only partially complete. And Mr. Ludholtz's Algebra 2 class was taught part in what later became one of the football team's locker rooms, and then later was moved upstairs, and we were partitioned by curtained walls across half the gymnasium, which got to be a little bit noisome when some of the gym classes moved inside at the beginning of December. But by January, we'd moved into the new part of the building. But Richard Ludholtz, and then for junior and senior years had Robert Buss, who taught analysis and then calculus, which I'm sure West's curriculum has changed a lot at the time. But at the time that Mr. Buss taught calculus, it was the only formal AP, advanced placement class, that Parkway West offered.
None of the other academic areas offered them?
At the time, none of the others did. We were in 1970, 1971, West, the faculty was just starting to push people to take some advanced placement classes, but they weren't billed as advanced placement classes per se. For example, in English, my senior year, the English was called, I think, Challenge English, and it was taught by Mr. Berger. And midway toward the end of the, into the second semester, he basically came in and said, I think all you guys ought to sign up and take the AP literature exam. So he said, I think we're pretty close to what they model as the curriculum. And Mr. Klein, who we'd spoken of before, at about the same time came to me and one other classmate and said that the history department was exploring establishing an AP course. And he wanted to know how well he thought the background and what he'd been doing in U.S. history prepared people for an AP course without having done a formal AP course. And I'd taken, of course, U.S. history from him as a junior, so I wasn't taking it as a senior. He said, you might get some college credit for this. Have your parents pay some money and sign up and take the AP course. So I took 3 AP exams my senior year, but only one of them was sort of planned going in as an AP course. Well, the Washington, D.C. area is a very neat place. I mean, the government's there, a lot goes on, There's incredible museums. You know, you're close to a lot of other, you know, if you like I'm not a big ocean person, but if you're close to the ocean, you know, it's not far away. We're not talking Rockies, but some hiking, some mountains are not far away to the west. So I mean, it is a great area to live. And its climate's actually more mild than, people always complain about the Washington, D.C. Climate, but it's more mild than St. Louis. St. Louis football practice in August for West was pretty brutal. It cools off a little sooner in Washington, and it doesn't get as cold consistently in the winter. So it's a great place to live. But I'm very happy doing what I'm doing now. I was actually my career goal coming out of graduate school was actually just to be on an academic faculty. But I had an opportunity to come down and work for the Joint Committee staff, and I've now been there over 19 years. And it's a different type. I've enjoyed teaching, and it's a different type of teaching. I mean, there's a lot of times where it's one-on-one with other congressional staffers, a member of Congress's staff member, sometimes the members of Congress themselves, where it's, well, what does economic analysis say about this issue? And so it's, you know, it's one-on-one tutorial, and then there is the extra fascination of seeing your government in action is both interesting, sometimes scary, but it's really fascinating. So there's lots of new things, lots of intellectual challenges, you know, just day to day.
Yeah.
I just have very positive feelings about my whole high school experience, generally my whole Parkway experience. I had an opportunity in high school to be involved in a lot of things, to take you know, academically challenging courses with very good teachers. I was in the band. We had a lot of fun in the band. I was on the football team. wasn't very good, but got in. Coach Wells was a great coach at the time, and it was just a neat high school experience that you know, I hope everybody can have a similar sort of experience.